Okay. Morning. Let's see. So let's just quickly. What time is it? We'll give it like 3 minutes and let people pile in on that. So, anybody else do any trading outside of the mentor group? I didn't take any trades at the mentor group. We had a good night last night, so I wasn't really rushing to push anything. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I got a fun message this morning from my trading view, which hasn't happened in the entire time I've been trading, that I apparently was identified as a professional trader and I had to upgrade to professional plans. Jerks. Uh, which is a lot more expensive, and so that was some fun I was dealing with this morning, which I wasn't ready for. I'm gonna delete some of this stuff here. Let's just clean up our lines here for a minute. I'm gonna delete this one. This one's no longer what I'm looking at. We have a pretty decent line here. You can see has been respected. I'm gonna leave that one there because we could get into market open, right, where we get a swing low. If that swing low stays above this line, it's gonna pop. If the swing low drops, right, then we'll come down to there. It's interesting, kind of like what I was telling you guys in the mentor group when we were talking, right? If you think about it, right, you almost kind of have like this rising channel, which in normal instances you'd be like, drop, rising channel, we're about to get another drop, right? And see how they trapped them, like we were talking about. All the people out there are so bearish that there's going to be a lot of traps that go on today, that bear traps, I think, that wreck people. Yeah, I just loaded the TikTok print on that. All right, let's talk about it quickly. I'm just going to go back this way for everybody and just do a little touch on this, not too much. So you guys know, most of you in here, this structure. This structure I've been talking about since like here, right? January, when we started the descent. My anticipation was that we would descend either to this top or this low. Once it gets to one of these and it reclaims this area here, right, then that is going to create a blow off top. All right. Daniel, mute. I don't know if you were growling or what.
So sorry about that.
You're good. Hey, let her rip. No, so but the confirmation of the blow off top is more, when we break that downtrend, right? So the moment we got in there, like we've been riding longs for days, right? And I have told everybody for quite some time, do not short tops, and if you take shorts, they need to be quick. So in this room, you guys have all been watching that, and we've taken advantage of this, where a lot of the other communities are getting wrecked, right? Because they're trying to short tops. And so now my feed has been nothing but I'm full port shorting because we're breaking all-time highs with no pullback. We have to have a pullback. The volume's low. It makes no sense why we're up here. That's all I'm getting, right? And so remember in Asia when we got this drop last night, we all took mostly longs. We did pretty good. I had finished my lucid ones, so I need 3 more days and I'm good on that. My funded I traded. I got two to 1500, and this one is payable. All right, so I can withdraw 1500 today at 5 on the my funded. We did that last night in Asia, playing longs while everybody else was probably trying to short. So even after we were done, I had mentioned to everybody, like, the whole world's short, right, because of what's going on in the strait. But you guys know where I am with that. Now, we did identify a possibility, so I don't want to be too biased, right? Because when we push, it needs to come back at some point, or at least like a cooling off period, if you will, ideally. If you think about it, we have a push, kind of a little consolidation aside, push, another one, push. This push went way deeper than these. My expectation was for this to push here and then get one retrace or consolidation, then go. This just went, right, because of some news and things that went through. So we might get that consolidation up here. So there's a chance we could get some swing low, some swing high, etc. For us to pull down into this range is possible, right? Because we can still hold these highs. But if this pushes up a little more, that pullback down to there would be our halfway reclaim, right? Then it can decide where it wants to go. So we definitely can still go a little down in a pullback, but I don't think it's going to be even close to the crash everybody keeps thinking, right? For me, as long as I'm above this area here, the 400 area or 399, I'm mostly long. I'm just waiting for, is this pre-taped? No, we're live. I'm just not answering questions because I'm live trading on this. So you guys, if you want to come in and watch on the room, you can. You can just go to nextstepalgo.com and then we're in the Google Meet. So I'm trading with the room, not looking up stuff. So, but good deal. So when when we look for our longs, right, I still want to have some kind of pullback. I don't want to just take pushes, because the critical part about here is we can get into situations where we kind of blow off top and then we get deep absorption, right? And if that happens, or when that happens, because it will eventually, right, that is our first sign on a higher time frame that we're going to begin a descent, right? And so you don't want to just chase pushes. So going into our 1 minute, we just had a pretty nasty shakeout, right? I love that this happened because we have a swing low, swing high. Now we have something to measure, right? So when we go into open, we have a high, we have a low. If we stay internal, we're just internal. Any kind of break would give us expansion. Any kind of break down here would give us expansion. Now, talking open, if you apply all this stuff, if we open, because now that we have a sweep down, lower, high, if this begins to collapse, but if we open and swing down and we hold any kind of high or low, then here, right, it's going to be a swing and then a big push. So where that sweep down lands is going to be critical for us. So I'll be heavily watching that. If we happen to just push on open, where that push lands is critical. If we push up and we just explode through this, right, I would look for a pull back and a hold on these areas before I would take any more longs, right? But I dang sure would not be shorting. Now, if I wanted to take short scalps, I'm not opposed to it, but I would need to see it breach and then reclaim, preferably out of this red. I'm not a big fan of trading in that area, right, from the all-time high set. And so could be tricky, right, today. We'll have to see where it goes, because we're holding higher in the range like I thought we would. And I know we're going to have pullbacks, right? It's just that's a normal oscillatory market nature. But I don't think we're going to have the crash everybody thinks we're having, right? And that shows from what we did overnight. So we got 4 minutes to open. We'll see kind of how it goes for open. We do have Neo. He is. I'm letting him be very detailed, right? In all these numbers, everything he says. I'll unmute him and let him talk at times, but I might mute him if I need to say something. If you guys want to follow him on your own, anybody in TikTok as well, you guys can come in for free and you can follow him. So all you do is go to the website and you click on Neo AI session and you guys can follow him if you guys want to have the sound and all that on. But market opens very fast, so sometimes it's not good for me to have him talking too long, right? Because things happen very quickly. So I'm curious to see, because he's been pretty bullish, and we've been pumping. A lot of times, whatever he puts like right before and right at open lately tends to play pretty well that way. But remember, he can't. He still doesn't really know like this is market open yet, right? He's just reading the chart. So you got to kind of take these with a grain of salt for now. But even though I give that disclaimer every time, he actually does pretty well with it. So I need to load in a couple things here, guys. So give me one sec while we wait for open to play. If anybody has any kind of quick questions, then let me know until we get market open, and then we'll pause on that. But I don't know if you guys seen this as well, but Tradeovate has a thing saying we are currently investigating an issue affecting logins on NinjaTrader.com. In the meantime, users can access their accounts by logging into account.ninjatrader.com. So it doesn't sound like that's a Tradeovate thing, but I always get a little nervous when I see that. Because if I start seeing any kind of lag or issue with Tradeovate, then I will not take trades on it. So let me load up a couple things here. Okay.
So get your Tradeovate app ready to close out trades, is what you're saying.
Yeah. At least you remember that. Yeah, if you are expecting possible issues, it's always good to have your app ready, because the app works on a different server. So, cool. 1 minute till open, guys. Ding, ding, ding. And then let's, I keep forgetting to do this. I gotta stop the recording here. I don't have to record the open session here because I have it on YouTube and TikTok. That's the mentor group session. All right. 8 seconds. Let's see. Guys, keep your volume fairly low. It's open. So when we have these opens, I tend to like to keep my volume pretty low. So we're getting the push. Again, it's funny, man. Look at, he just held to his guns on the whole like bearish. Let me refresh this because he might have, yeah, there it goes. The way I did it messed it up. But yeah, see, he's holding his guns bullish, and then isn't it crazy? Almost every day that he's done that, it goes that way first. It may not hold, right? Those are the little things that I notice. It's funny. So we're getting a push first. Let's just see where this thing lands. Dun, 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 dun.
Went straight to Friday close.
Yeah. So remember, I'm not calling nothing yet because I just have to see a pull. Remember, I don't establish that as my high until I see a pull. So now that's our high. So now we have our swing high. Now we need a swing low. Usually that swing high will pull it back equal below that low to what the swing high is. So down here somewhere. That's what it should do. Anything short of that, right, it's very bullish. Now if we pull back, see how it did almost equal? Now if we start to bounce, right, then we know we're going to be in a pretty decent fight today, right? Pretty decent range type day. So let's just look. This low matters. Now we can't really calculate this low yet until we get any kind of push back from the high, right? So let's see. A little bit of DOM push, but we're still bearish, right? We haven't even got a green candle on our 15-second yet. Let's watch. Again, my expectation was to get somewhere here, right? So we're kind of right there. So any kind of doji close above here should breach wick that, which will give us a pretty good explosion. Right. So now remember what we talked about in the mentor group, right? Look at these lows and highs. Those matter as you're trying to do this. We have some decent tight range between confluence of support and resistance. So I haven't quite got the pull back yet. Right now it's still looking like it wants to come down a little further. This low matters. If we jump here and we're high or low than all this stuff, it's going to be a pretty good jump, right? We are getting hammers. See this? In areas we probably shouldn't get them. So, but it's not confirmed until we get back above there. Anything below here is gonna pull us, right? And it's market open. We do have a 5-minute trap, but see how it's like trying to print it, but it hasn't locked. It hasn't locked quite yet. Okay. See how we're getting the pressure? Now, again, we have hammers suggesting it's more this way than this way. Now remember, we have a high, we have a low. Anything mid, right, if it sees down pressure down, it's going to be a tell of us being pretty down, right? So we got the breach wick. We're reclaiming that high, which played out kind of what I thought it would, right? See how you do that? Equal high, equal low, and then we push back. Right, and so far it's playing out good. I hope that it ranges today. I'm cool with that because I'm a top and bottom trader. So now that we have a high and a low established, we're just internal. All right, so now we want to see how it does it act internal. Right, this next push matters. The first push played out like it should. Right, we got a push above, and the push below is about equal to the push above. Right, so if we blow through this now, it's a very bullish move because we're high or low from the long play, right? We just bounced right off of Lisma, couldn't even breach wick Lisma on the 5-minute. That nothing in that screams, hey, we're super bearish, right? So where this one lands is really important. So those of you from the mentor group, see how that did that for the short moves I was teaching y'all? See how we had the low, we have low, high, and then we reclaim that, and then you're kind of quick scalp there if you're doing scalping. Now if you're waiting, I mean, it's still really early during here, but even if you didn't take it, at least you get to see kind of how it was determined, right? So now be careful, right? Because remember, this played out as it should, but we have a push. If this breaks down, right, any lower high than this, then it's going to come down to test here. That could create a lower low, right? Because now you have a lower high, lower low. They'll see that as some weakness. Those of you guys who know, this red box is pretty staunch, even though it's not like a super crazy calculation. It's just some back testing, right? And so, isn't it funny how, again, guys, that it's rejecting right off of that box? That box means really nothing other than $50 from the all-time high, right? But it's so funny to see how relevant it stays. So we're getting a lot of push. Again, we got a hammer and a doji. Here's the high, here's the low. Close below that should breach wick that and then pull us. Close above that would push us, right? So now we just got to see what is it. Staunch. Oh, I know, you're right, actually. What's funny is I was the first one to say that, and then it kind of resonated through, but I don't disagree. So let's look at it. All right, so you can see we got the close below, so that's your kind of quick move down. In the grand scheme of things, though, from here to here, we are what? Halfway pull. Halfway pull, prior high, right? So any kind of push there is going to create that secondary push. That's where you get a lot of retail get caught in the bears or get caught in those traps. So let's see. I'm only trading an eval right now because I finished all my stuff last night. I'm up 24.54 because I'm doing what I taught you guys in the mentor group, but I'm doing it with like 2 to 3 NQ. So I'm testing a theory, guys, those on TikTok and those that are in here as well, that I'm kind of teaching to the mentor group. And so far, so good. So far, so good, guys. Again, we're halfway. We haven't quite had the break for expansion, but these candles start to matter, right? We got hammers. On there, on the 1 minute, we are doji. 2 dojis, actually. So we have a high and a low. Close below the low, we're coming down. Close above the high, we expanded. Aside from that, we don't really know, right? So we have to look at everything else within. We know the precision entry engine, we have a buy, and we have a buy. So shorting is pretty dangerous as of right now. Now, for us to collapse here, though, remember, we are still lower high. So we're still internal. We don't really know which way the direction is going to go. We know we have a deep trend here that has been respected multiple times. Any kind of higher low here will come up with some absolute force. If we come down to breach here, then that's going to come down for a pretty deep drop, right? So this next couple candles really matter. Okay, so there's the attempt at, we got the lower low. Let's see if this breaches it, closes below, because then it's going to come there. If we go into a hammer or a doji, then it's going to come all the way back up, and we're just ranging like I was thinking we might today. So let's see. We know we got the 200 down here. Remember how I was telling you any kind of breakdown of this lower high is going to create a lower low. And so we got our lower low. Now we're just trying to see, is it a bear trap or are they going to push it? That's all we're looking at right now. So we know we got the 200 here. We know that the trend line that we broke is all the way down there, so we can definitely run to that. So let's just keep watching the micro and looking for micro moves, micro jumps, any kind of DOM, anything that's suggesting that we would reclaim. As of right now, not, right? We're flat top. So this 200, if we get a breach wick, close below, that's going to drop down to here. If we bounce here, right, and a reclaim of that low, 47, then it's going to jump up pretty high. So let's see. How this bounces here matters. If we stay below like 47, maybe 50, it's going to drop back down. But on that reclaim, it's going to jump up pretty hard. So let's see. See the DOM jumping a little? See if we get the full reclaim. So it's trying to get the reclaim. There it is. See the reclaim? Right off the 200 bounce. That's what gave us a little propulsion. Now that propulsion should breach wick this, close above, and jump up. If it doesn't, anything short of that, guys, if we get a deep pull, bulls aren't quite as strong as we think. They're not quite as in control as we think. Guys, if you're on TikTok as well, you guys can come in and to the Google Meet and trade for free if you like. Just go to nextstepalgo.com and then you just click on open session right here. And it'll take you to a Google Meet. So big indecision range. Notice how it's fighting that level. Remember we talked about, guys, in the mentor group? It's fighting that level. Now we've got multiple dojis. Close below is going to sweep hard. Close below would push, or above would push us. Now, the fact that we reclaimed this with the steam that I thought we would, but it didn't have enough to breach it with the breach wick doesn't show a ton of strength yet, right? So I have to really watch it closely. So I need to see if we're getting any hammers, anything. Now to me, we're getting, see how we got a hammer near an area that should have been resistance. It should not have given a hammer. See that? So now we're double bottom, or trying to be on the micro. That again should breach wick this. If this collapses without any kind of breach of this, not as strong as they're playing it out to be. Let me look at it. So yeah, so these lows here are going to be critical, guys. 45. If we stay above that, we're going to push. If we get into a collapse of that, then the fall is going to be pretty significant. We'll call that significant. That's better. We'll do that. See, we're getting the dom jumps again. I always ask the question. I mean, we're more doji than anything, but why are we getting hammers near resistance if we're about to drop? Alright, so we'll watch. But it is market open again. We haven't even set the RB. We have two more minutes. So anything's possible, guys. See how I was trying to push? So let's see. This has got to give me a breach wick. Give me a breach wick, close above, and then that thing's going to go to there. Anything rejects into an inverted hammer, it's coming back down. Right, so if you're trading funded, pro, something that's more important to you, right, you want to wait for some open area trades. Right now we're not really in an open area trade. You would need this to reclaim that, right, breach, close above, and then that would give you a little scalp. If you're going long, you might even be safer waiting till you breach the trend, right, back up, or waiting till we get a decent pull, right. It's a little safer. Anything that I take within here is mostly just going to be scalps.
Good morning.
Morning.
Did anybody else TradingView tweak out on them this morning and tell them they're a professional trader now?
Me.
Wow, dude. Why the hell would it tell me that?
So, do you pay for your TradingView through a company?
No, I pay for it privately.
Personal?
Yeah, personally.
Is your email your company email that you use?
Yes, it is.
That's what it is. So if you use a company email or a company credit card, apparently they are now cracking down and identifying you as a professional trader. That's what we found out. Because I had the same exact thing happen to me. And I messaged them and they said anything that is identified as professional or commercially used, which could include paying for it on a company credit card or using a company email, will be now classified as a professional trader. So TradingView is trying to get their money. Yep. So now for you, I mean, it sucks for what you've already paid for, but you guys can just create new emails and do another one, right? But for me, that really sucks because we pay for ours in a company credit card fashion on a company email. So I just had to bite the bullet and pay for it.
Crazy. I did catch wasn't paying attention to my volume and I caught 460 and I needed 200 on an eval to get it finished. So
nice.
Yeah, it's Monday, but I passed it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people are getting that little oops today with TradingView. Guys, we got deep compression now. Remember how you guys, mentor group this morning, I taught you how to box that in, right? A lot of indecision, even on the 15-second, guys. I mean, crazy indecision. We have a massive doji on the 5, right? Here's our high, here's our low, we're internal, close below that's dumping us, close above that is pumping us, right? So we got to keep watching this. I don't really have a bullish or bearish sense of this other than that we're creating compression above the low, right? That's the only thing I can really base off of. And 47 is right there. We're mostly compression above that low, which is more leaning that it would go up than down, but it's way, I mean, think about it, this is 15-second, guys, and we're still just super indecisive on what it wants to do right now. So it could go either way right now. There's nothing, it's leaning like it should go more northern, but it's not, yeah. They're doing a good job on this. So now we have a first signal. See, we broke out of the compression and we hit this low again and we created a hammer. Close above that would give us our more signal that we're going to be more north. Close below that would be more south, right? So let's just watch. So this hammer tells us a lot, plus where it actually happened at, right? We're actually creating a possible one in the 1 minute as well. 5 minute is still pretty bearish with the flat tops, but if we breach 66, that would breach that flat top. Until we breach that macro flat top, we're still bearish on the macro. So what I'm identifying is, are we doing bearish things on the micro? Are we doing bearish things on the 1 minute, right? And so far we're not really, but we're, see how it's more hammer here? There is a little bit of inverse, but see that jump? How I kind of identified that? So we got a jump, now we're absorbed. Now you guys know from the how I trade it, we have a breach wick, rear back. That's normal. If it breach wick, rear back into a deeper low, that's not normal, right? Now for us to pull back to this trend line, we know is well within possibility. Even into these lows, right? 709, all that, it's well within what it could do. So now this is turning into stop hunt with a deep pull, right? So definitely trapping, guys, so be careful. So as we come into these lows, right, where this bounces matters. Remember I was talking about the mentor group? So if we bounce above 725 or so, somewhere here, and we reclaim this low, it's going to jump. Because then it would be a compression, breakout, reclaim, and that ends up massive. Now if we stay below here, like on this push, we push up and we tap, 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 drop, tap, 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 drop, then it's likely going to pull pretty hard too. So let's just watch it. I have a feeling that they're going to be more bear traps today than bull traps, right? And so, because they're, like I said, the world is bearish. And when the world gets bearish, the market loves to be bullish. That's how they wreck everybody. Let's see if we get that full reclaim. Kind of, we didn't get the close though. No, see, it didn't quite close. It's trying to reclaim it, but any kind of reclaim of this lows, it would be compression, down, reclaim, jump. But if we continue to reject here, right, but now look at it in a way of, you know, bearish setup should be doing bearish things, right? And so we are still getting some pretty good DOM jumps that in an area that probably shouldn't have DOM jumps, right? Because we actually closed below our 200. So let's watch. Boom, boom, boom. See, another DOM jump. Y'all see that? There she blows. Watch this. This is going to be crazy. If this can hold, see how now it does a rear back? If it holds those lows, it's going to get a secondary push. If it breaches those lows, then it's a push retest into our Lisma, and then that's going to dump. So, but if where this rear back happens, see how it happened right there, and then we're starting to bounce again? Close below that, it's going to come down to create another low. If we bounce, 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 then it's going to come back up for a rear up. Now, notice how it's starting to sort of set up some open area, right? Where if we get a breach through here, close above, right, then we have a pretty decent move there, right? Now, we know that the market loves to go back to Lisma. It just seems to do that all the time. So, to me, it seems like that's what it wants to do. So I took a few little micro scalps on my my funded one. Now I'm kind of waiting to see if I get my push here on the reclaim that I'm thinking. Again, think about this, guys. This right here should have dumped us to there, and it didn't, right? We bounced. And we notice where we bounced. right? Like we talked about in the mentor group. Then we're pushing. Now we're in a kind of compression with a nice absorption to the south. Nope, that hit my last TP. Sweet. Absorption to the south, fake out. Guys, these are what gets everybody. Because put a thumbs up if you're a continuation trader and you see absorption like this with a close below that low. If that's not your I'm in. Right? Continuation traders, that's your I'm in. And then that happens. And then you get confused because you're like, I don't understand. Right? Those are traps. Compression, right? Breaks out, reclaim, and then always pushes like this. So, what can give you the signal of this being a trap is, like I said, why are we getting dom jumps in areas we shouldn't get dom jumps? Why are we getting hammers in areas we shouldn't get hammers if we're very bearish? Why are we closing below the 200 and reclaiming it so quickly if we're going to be bearish? Right? These are all things that you got to think of. So, but let me look at something. Guys, also I am again I'm studying a quick scalping method that's a little safer, using certain logic, and that's something I'm teaching to my mentor group only right now. Eventually, I might pull it down into the development group, right? But that's the point of being in the mentor group is they all get kind of first dibs. But it's working out pretty well. So on my funded, remember I was at 1,500, right? So I'm up to 21, almost 22. That's withdrawable. So you figure it's just under 2,000. I can withdraw by tonight at 5 o'clock. The funny part is while I leave this here, I get, as you guys notice while I'm doing TikToks, they're like, show me a months of this, or show me your P&L of this, or show me whatever. You guys know in this room, and many of you have known me for a long time, I don't really show that because that doesn't really tell me anything. Shoot, in AI nowadays, I could have that thing generate an image that makes me look like the greatest trader in the world. There's no better confirmation than me saying, I made 2167. Here's my brokerage of live trading. It's right there. Can't Photoshop that. Right? And so that's how I validate the transparency. But anybody take that reclaim? I'm just curious. Or how
I caught part of it on 3 mic.
Yeah, I'm in it.
Anybody get caught in the short? And if you did, it's fine. You know.
No, I had my hearing on for you that time because you said it right before it happened that be careful.
Man, I got you. Hey, this is how I pictured you. Just the way you said that and the way my mind works is Daniel's over here like, I'm waiting, and then he hears Nick, hey man, this is going to reclaim and explode. I'm waiting. You just did that little pivot, huh? You had your button there and just went,
That's exactly what happened. I'm not even joking. When you said it, I was like, let me get my head off this button.
Yeah, that's funny. So keep in mind, guys, and I'm not taking anything right now because we're back into internal. It could just explode, or this could again be an oscillatory day. But this is why, guys, I have found in my years of thousands of hours of candles that it is more profitable for me to be patient and wait for the signs of the trap and play the trap than it is to hope that I get the right entry playing into the trap. Right? This still is not a bad trade, even if you took the buy sell signal. I mean, it's a $20 move, but you know, you don't know how far that's going to go. And then now look at how much more significant the push is. And remember what I was telling you guys, the whole world is bearish right now. Or at least my whole feed. Everybody's like, we're full port and shorts. I promise you people just broke accounts right here with something like that. Because this is well, let me ask it this way. If I'm like that and I have a drop with lower highs, higher lows, what is that? What pattern is that? I know somebody, some of y'all know it. I know Cody knows it. I appreciate it.
I missed the question.
if we have a drop with lower highs and higher lows, what pattern is this?
So bear pennant, no?
Look, it's some of y'all been in development class for a long time and should be able to just bam, right? Because that rules don't ever change. But yeah, bear pennant, right? So the whole world is thinking, oh yeah, we're about to dump. We're bearish today. I'm only short. I'm not taking longs. Like I had someone actually do a TikTok. It was funny. I commented on it like, be careful, because she was like, I'm only short today or tomorrow, or because we are full port dropping. And I like went into the comments. I'm like, I'll be careful with your short bias because you're gonna get wrecked. And that's what they do, right? They set up this play out, which it arguably did play out if you take the distance of there to there. But this is supposed to be a continuation, not that, right? And so this is what I was saying earlier. They're gonna set up a lot of traps. Now, I don't think they're going. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna explode today either. I just don't think we're gonna dump today. I think there's gonna be bull traps and possibly some bear traps. So when I think that way, or my mind goes that route, I rather identify a bear trap and then take the reclaim of the invalidation, right? And then if I want to, versus me waiting for a long play and jumping into a long, because then I could get caught in a bull trap, right? That then does the same. Remember on the high time frame, I am suspecting that we're going to range pretty good, right? I think that we're going to range. Now that range is pretty wide, right? It could be anywhere from here all the way to here. I think that over a little bit we're going to just kind of range. So we do have the ability to come a lot further down, right? But I don't think they're going to just go down there. I think there's going to be a lot of traps. Now it also matters too where all of this continues to tap, right? Because if we come out like this, like that, if we cannot create a higher high than here, right, around that 845 level, and it just taps and taps and taps and taps and taps and taps and taps for a while, eventually that's going to break down. That's just the nature of the market, right? We can take some 5-minute trend lines like this and identify it. Now, for us to pull back wouldn't surprise me, which is why I'm not eager to just jump into another long, because we are oscillation up, oscillation down, oscillation up. The expectation from the oscillatory nature would be that we would oscillate down, right? That's where I have to revert back to my micro. Is it doing things that make sense? Is it doing things that should be continuation bullish? Now, part of the mentor group pre-market, which I will share with you guys, this is that my bias is mostly long today. I'm not taking a lot of shorts. I'm actually probably not going to take any shorts. But it does not mean that I'm long here. It does not mean that I'm waiting for a small pullback and I'm long here. It means that I want to see some kind of significant pullback, right? Or something failing, or some trap like setting and reclaiming using high lows, things like that. The only way that I'm going to take a continuation would be if I can break above something critical. Like if I look at these highs and I want to see a break, I want to see it tap, 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 and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll take that. Anything short of that, I think of that every time I say that, so I love that you said that. But get out of my head, Cody. But yeah, anything short of that, guys, we're just in range.
That's Happy Gilmore stuck in my head.
Yeah. That's it's funny how we always do that with each other, where like I'll be like, guys, you don't want to do this, and he's like, get your cameras out of my house. Remember that you said? You're like, get your cameras out of my house. Shit up. Oh man. But anyways, guys, quickly, because I'm not looking to trade this for a second, we're just going to analyze it, and then let's start listening to Neo and see what he's thinking. I love, let's see, did he go, so he went bearish pressure at 50, which is right there. Okay, so he was calling bearish pressure, only 4 out of 10, not crazy, which is not wrong. I mean, we are bearish pressure. I want to look at his concerns. The higher time frame trend line shows bullish support. 5-minute Lisma slope is positive, suggesting potential underlying strength that is not yet reflected in the immediate price action. The price is also hovering near the 1-minute anchored VWAP, creating a conflicting zone. So his concern was that we see the bearish pressure, but we're above some macro things, that could provide some underlying strength, right? That doesn't reflect in the price yet. So, which we ended up seeing, so not bad. If you notice, even during the drop, he flipped from bullish to bearish. Let's see where he was bullish, 35. Okay, so right there. He was pretty confident bullish, but let's see. The price is currently inside consolidation range, which it is. Entering without a confirmed breakout above the most recent push high can create a whipsaw, risk of whipsaw volatility, right? So if he called it here, he's saying entering that bullish before this prior high being reclaimed in the expansion would be dangerous because it could create a deep whipsaw pull, which it did. And that's why when I look at his data, guys, it's not as simple as is he right or wrong, right? It's just like anything, right? He's a trader. He thinks he's a trader, right? So if he's calling something, which he called pretty high confidence on bullish pressure, but shoot, it was, right? He identified it right at the peak. And so it is. If I looked at that, it is bullish pressure. So he's not wrong there. But his entry or his concerns would be about entering here would be I need a close above that high, which is not wrong, right, for continuation. I love that his concerns were if we break this down, it could create a pretty deep kind of whipsaw risk, right, which we really did here. See that kind of whipsaw of like a pull push. And we did it again there, right, but then it did break down. So his concerns validated, right, and his actual entry did not validate. So I don't really look at that like you were wrong, right? So, because right now he's just coach. He's just interpreting the market. That's all we got him doing. And we have some good news about Neo. If you guys want to stick around once we're done about 10:30, I will share that with you all. So, but let's look.
Is he getting a girlfriend?
Yeah, he's getting a girlfriend, Neo and Nina. No.
Here, I thought it was going to be Nia.
Dang, he's better than me. I can't even get one.
Trinity.
Of those.
Gotta be Trinity.
I think that was Surrey and Alexa too.
Trinity. That's funny. I just picked up on what you said there. Again, guys, this should be bearish. Why are we getting hammers? Right.
Because you said we were going to. That's why.
Breach wick. Now, why do I have this line? I don't remember why did I put that line there, guys. I'm just going to delete it if I don't know why. It's a white line in the 15-second. Yeah, I'm just going to delete it. I don't remember why I put that there. It might have been like a high-low thing. That's why I use them white, because if I can't see why it's relevant, it's usually a short time frame, then I get rid of it. Because what I'm looking at, see the OA now? From here to there. Breach wick there. Goes up above, gives the OA. Now we have a trend line you got to watch. Right? Depending when we hit it and where. So let's watch this. And my back has been tight today for some reason. Alright, let me I love my standing desk. I'm gonna have to go into standing mode. I think I said too long. So again, tricky area, right? Because you have pretty clear kind of trend line, if you will, like that. But we're getting absorption to the north, right? More hammer-like, which shouldn't really happen if we're gonna dump, right? But notice the peak of the hammers are right there and right there. we haven't really broken out of them either. So it's not like they're done, like they're gone, right? But look at, even here we got minute hammers in an area just, we shouldn't really have hammers. So I'm curious to see where this goes. What does he
Kind
think?
of sandwiched in between the 5-minute POC and the 1-minute POC.
You see this? He says, I see bearish pressure, confidence 3 out of 10. Sitting right on top of the EMA 200, which is acting as a conflicting zone. Entering now risks being trapped by a quick bounce as we lack a confirmed structural break below the key support level, which he's not wrong. So we're kind of perching on that 200, is what he's talking about. So that 200 is going to play a big part here, guys. I need to see what this next candle or two does. Because this is throwing cells, and see how we rode that trend line pretty well. So that should break down into here. If we get any more kind of sweep push into like a hammer setup, it's going to pop pretty well. Now you guys know that I'm not a big fan of the breakouts when Lisma flattens like that. So I'm curious to see how, because usually they need to get it to curl a little bit, right? So maybe we dance in here a little bit. But we also haven't really respected it a ton. See how we broke it, and then we broke back. We broke it, broke back, broke it, broke back. So, which validates, I guess, if you think about it, we're up and flat. Those aren't really supposed to just break out. Look at something really quick, guys. Hold on. I had a limit at these lows, taking a chance on this one, and it hit it, and it went up and it hit my TP. So, again, right? See how we have these lows? We're reclaiming it with a breach push. That should give enough to breach like that. With that, but again, you know. Here's the low, here's the high of our hammer, right? We're still internal. We never broke above it, we never broke below it. So it's not really bearish or bullish necessarily yet. So not a big trade on that, but I took a little bit. I'm just doing my funded one because you guys know in the mentor group, as well as even in development, I teach y'all how to piggyback profits. And so I'm up on this one now. I don't know why that just did that. Must be there. 23.69. So, arguably, I could stop right now, and it's guaranteed, you know, a little over 2,000 that I could take into the bank today. But, you know, I'm using 5MNQ with short take profit grabs. I'm willing to give up a little bit of that, right, to try to grow. Because this is something I teach not only in the mentor but in the development group that if I'm fearful of having big days because I don't want to lose it, you're going to have a lot of small days, and eventually you're going to have a big day that just is the other way, right, that wrecks you. And so if I would have took my 1,500 that I was at, I could have, right, and had guaranteed 1,400 or so in profit in my bank, but now I wouldn't have, you know, 2,200, right? And so people in the mentor group, I know, actually not even the mentor group, shoot, you guys in the open have seen it where I'll be like, dang, I'm up like $4,000, I should stop. And some people will even say like, yeah, I would stop, dude, like that's a great day. And I kept to my rules of piggybacking the profit, being disciplined, managing my volume, and ended up getting a $10,000 a day, right? But you'll never get a $10,000 a day if you're fearful in the market. Now you got to use it, you got to be good at your discipline and rules. Like let's say for this, I'm willing to give up 1,000 in profit, right? If I go negative 1,000 on any P&L, I got to kill it. You got to kill it. You took a swing, you tried it, and then I'm done for that day. I'll just take my money. Took a swing, didn't work, right? But you definitely have to kill that if it does. Well, One sec. Does that make sense? Any questions on that, guys? No questions? We good? How's everybody doing, P&L wise? You guys following
Could
along?
you take it from the top again? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And go over your ATM settings too.
Can we back this up? My attention spans. This... Yeah.
I got $478. So
Nice.
I'm at 155 so far.
I
Nice.
got
Green is green.
252.
How much?
I got 252.
Sweet. Alright, so this is critical, guys. Remember, we're compressing in a fashion that should have dropped us to here. It didn't. We reclaimed it. Created a higher high. Now we're getting a pullback. That pullback stays anywhere above like 54 with another close above. That would be our pullback, push, close above, and then we're into OA. Alright, so if you're looking for another possible entry, you could do that. There is some concerns. If you take the top here, this would be your trend line, right, that we've been kind of battling all day. So close above there here could be still dangerous, right? You might want that breach, close above there, and then create the deeper OA if you're looking for maybe a safer potential play. So we're getting some DOM drops a little bit, you see that? But we're still within the range potential of that halfway. So I want to see if we get any kind of DOM bounces in here. That would be a push, halfway reclaim, push. Anything that breaks down from that is going to be what pushes us down to that lower area.
Hey Nick, as you were saying that if you're afraid to take risks, I was laddering that long right before that push.
This. And then wait,
Yeah.
TP, right?
It was like, I felt like I was in a movie. It was just like it's just like perfect time.
Yeah, it just goes. And you guys remember, like, you remember Andrew when I was teaching that, where when I taught y'all how to ladder, right? You almost want to ladder into or against, you know, the move, because you want to ladder into the trap. That's when you kind of build the rung, and then it jumps, and you're like, TP, right? It just hits them all, and you're like, sweet. So we're getting our pull. It's just coming back into the 200. Let's see. Neo seems to be holding pretty bearish. Now this is not creating a lower low yet, so we're just consolidating. We could go down, back up, but I do have concerns of the fact that we did the breach wick, and then we lost the prior high, and we lost the midway mark. Right, so that does bring up some concern, right, for our strength of the bullish push. And remember, on the macro, I'm kind of expecting almost to either consolidate above these highs to give a deeper push, or I'm kind of expecting at some point to come touch this trend line. So, you know, a full pullback wouldn't surprise me because it's more in line with the macro. But if the macro stays above like 17, 20, somewhere within these ranges, you know, we could get a sweep, absorption, reclaim, kind of like we did earlier, right? So we have to kind of watch that. And just see how this is acting. So, because we're in a very conflicted zone where the macro suggests we should come back to here, but we're not able to breach the prior highs, which is creating consolidation here, which is usually more of a northern expansion. But the 1 minute's suppressing our 2 minute 200 EMA, which hasn't broken. We are getting deep pushes, but we're also getting deep draws, right? So we don't really know yet, right, which one's going to play out. If it wants to come up and create a higher push, or are we going to come down to the macro down here, right, 684. So we just have to keep seeing how it treats this area. So there's the sweep, right? So again, I would want to play this similar to the other one. Give me a sweep, and then absorb, and then reclaim that low, and then it would jump again, right? Anything short of that, now, right, we broke here. If we break here again, it should come to about there, right, or somewhere within here. So let's just see. if the macro wants to do any kind of shift and reclaim this. Because that would be another bear trap, right? Because we broke this low push with a nasty push, and we broke the low. That should pull us to there. If it doesn't even get to here, and we reclaim this low, then it's another bear trap, right? But we are getting a little more DOM pressure south than the last one, right? So may not, but let's see. We know Lisma's finally curling. Remember how I was saying it tends to like to curl pretty deep before it actually will break it. So this little pull could be part of that curl, right? Little DOM pressure north, but nothing crazy. Again, guys, we are bearish continuation on this type of play until we come up and reclaim like 39. If we don't reclaim 39, we're bearish on it, right? Then the macro play of coming back down to here is in play. But we just literally did this, right, where we swept it and then we reclaimed it and jumped. So for us to possibly set up another bear trap, even maybe lower, right, like here, and then sweep it, reclaim, would be another bear trap, right? But I'm looking to see where are we getting the traps, both sides, right? That's what matters to me. So this is an area that needs to bounce pretty soon if it wants to do the same thing, right? If we breach here, close below, then this is kind of our next stop. For the macro, we can get all the way to like 672, right, depending on how you're playing it. So again, if you're waiting for the long bounce, you want some decent confirmation. I'd want to see a hammer, a couple hammers, doji, and then a reclaim there, and then that would spring. So we're trying to test it. Where this goes matters. Really, really matters, guys. See how we pushed it? And now it's pulling back. We pushed to retest that low, but we didn't breach into it. For strength, I would have rather this breached into it and then pulled back, right? But let's see, because we're just creating another kind of doji land setup. There we go. Let's see how it goes. Let's see, if this goes up and absorbs close below, it's going to drop hard. But if this pushes up and then the next one, candle or two breaches that, then it was the trap that we were talking about. We've now reclaimed the low. So let's see. Lisma now is at a better angle that if this were to come up and breach wicket, I would have more confidence that it would actually go, right? So that would be more safer area, but so let's see how this handles, the micro. There's our low. It's still trying to hold it. Watch the DOM if we continuously get pushes. Because that's also right at the 200 as well, guys. So now it's trying to decide, are we reclaiming the 200 or are we dropping? But I'm not as worried about the 200 as I am watching how it's reclaiming this low. Still getting DOM jumps in an area we really shouldn't get DOM jumps. Let's look at something. Okay. All right, so this low matters now, right? Because we push, we reclaim the low. Now we're tapping to see if we hold it. If we hold it, right, then that will create another propulsion. So you got to watch the DOM, see how it reacts. Again, you got to ask yourself, guys, we broke the 200 twice now, and we're getting crazy pushes, right? But we're not free and clear yet. It's reclaiming lows that it shouldn't really reclaim if we're bearish. Getting a little drop. Remember, even though it reclaims these things, we still gotta, we still have the high, right, which is in here, range. So this would be a little safer of it, but, oh, TikTok's yelling at me. Give me my puzzle. Guys, I don't know why, but man, TikTok just absolutely beat me down when it comes to this algorithm. You guys see that? I don't know. I don't know what I did with it. I'm in TikTok
Yeah.
jail.
It's weird how low the people in the room.
We like exploded, man, when I was trying to do Neo and talking about Neo, and it went from like 50 to 100 to 300 to 600 or 500 and something back to 12. You gotta love TikTok, man. Jeez.
And tell your friends TikTok.
Man. It's so crazy. But guys, if you're on TikTok and you want to come in, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's why the algorithm hates me, because remember we always talk about that. If you want to come into the live session, you can do it. It's free. You just click on nextstepalgo.com. I think I have the link in my bio. And when you get here, right, you just click open session. Super easy. Click on start open session, and you in like Slim. If you want to watch Neo, it's also free. You just click on it, and there's Neo. So pretty easy, guys.
The one. He is the one.
The one. No, we can't reference that in recordings. I'm not trying to lawsuit it. He's not the one. It's not that one, Brent.
He's the two.
No. Yeah, he's the... We'll come up with a better one.
El uno.
Yeah. See how it's doing it again, guys? So, we got a breach wick. Remember, this breach wick, rear back to here is within range. If it doesn't rear back to there and we get the close above, that's strength. Right? Now, it could even rear back all the way into here, and it's still kind of strength, right? Because we're push, halfway reclaim, push again. So, and it's funny because, again, like I said, I always ask questions. I teach you guys this. Why are we getting hammers near crazy resistance? Right? This doesn't make sense. Let me look at something. I'm standing, so my other monitor is harder to see. Pretty cool, though, huh? Anybody catch the long on the reclaim here? Isn't that cool how we just keep seeing that today, the trap moves? Pretty cool.
Not really this time. I was in short. It got to 2 ticks away from my TP, and then it bounced. So great.
Well, I'm gonna touch on that just for a moment because it's important, and it's what I was just actually deeply talking about with my mentor group. The problem that a lot of people do, and I had this same damn problem, is we look for tops, then bottoms, then tops, then bottoms. We jump short, then we go long, then we go short, then we go long, right? I have found through lots of testing that is not a good way to trade. If I'm either going to choose that I'm long all day today, or mostly, unless some bigger condition changes, or I'm going to be short, right? And so if I look at something like here, macro, I'm uptrend, right? Macro, we're above the low here, right? Which is not bearish. We know that if we hold above that low, which is what it's kind of trying to do, that's not really bearish, right? So for me to take a quick scalp against the momentum, the trend, and the low reclaims is not worth it. I would rather let this fall and then take the pushback, right? Because then I'm going with the momentum, with the trend, with the reclaim. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I would recommend to do that because it'll save you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah, I was just looking for a pullback to the middle of VWAP.
Yeah.
And I had it set a little bit above it, but it wasn't enough away from it.
Sure. Well, and again, you know, like I said, and this goes with me, guys, everything I share is through personal experience. So, most of my big losses, most of my accounts that I wrecked that I didn't want to wreck, came from me chasing that quick little, like, ooh, this looks like it's going to break down. Let me just get a quick scalp, right? And then we get a quick scalp, and it works, and it works, and it works until it doesn't work, and then it ends up really bad, and then you get wrecked, right? And so, for me, the way I've changed my trading and my consistency is I don't really look for those quick scalps anymore. I stay with my bias based on something, right? Like higher time frame. So my bias now has been mostly long because of how the structure was, the reclaims that we were doing, the fact that I still think we're in that blow off top. Now I know we can pull back, because we've seen it on low time frames do that. Because we can pull back, I don't want to just throw along and it's going to get out, right? I want to wait for a pull. Most of my trades today in these sessions have been as it pulls, either, you know, taking a bounce here. Now, I've done it where I've taken a bounce, right? Like, let's say here, I think this one actually did it to me. That's why I was looking at it, because it hit a limit order, didn't quite grab it. Then it came down, right? And then I entered on the close of the reclaim there, which was pretty close to where it was anyways, but it doubled it and then it went up and got it, right? And so little, you know, I'm lower volume, so I can do that within multiple trades. But this is interesting what this is doing, guys. Let's watch this. So this is our trend. We didn't even get to it. Now we know, remember I said it's full possibility of push, halfway reclaim. Anywhere back into these lows, but we gotta hold these lows, like 740 for sure, 736. Sweep into a hammer would give us a push, rear back push, which would, that one should breach wick that. If it doesn't breach wick it at that point, you know, then we definitely run more of a risk of dropping, right? But that's where we just kind of go back to our micro, look at the hammers, look at the momentum, look at the DOM. Are we getting bounces? What does it look like, right? So, but again, it's kind of doing what I said it would do in the beginning. Remember, just like, I think we're going to consolidate. I don't think we're going to do a full expansion like everybody's thinking. Because look at this. This would have caught bulls on the continuation, right? Because it meets rules. This would have caught bears on the continuation because it meets the rules. They're trapping both sides, right? Somewhat. Which is how we create consolidation, right? In the range. So that's why for me, I'm not a huge fan of taking these continuation plays right now, because I think in a accumulative market, your continuation strategy is going to get you wrecked. So you're going to get beat up pretty good, unless you have a defensive play of like adding volume of some sort, right?
The good news was my volume is so small; it's 2 micros, and I just let it run back up there. I was like, let's see how high it goes, and you know, I'm up for the day. So, and you know, the previous version of me as a trader would have been in for like 5 micros, and you know, panicked a bit and probably closed it right before it got to 775, and then it came back. Now I'm back in profit on this trade now. So
yeah.
And also, like, I'm just taking the $20 wins, like when it dips back into my profit range, and I'm like, hey, it looks like it might not hit my take profit this time. I'm just gonna take the $20, and like, it's still $20 closer to passing an eval.
It's an absolute fact. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about most traders don't want to tell you, is that they don't win every trade. They don't put stop losses on every trade, right? It's not how you... Getting into it's not nearly as important as understanding how to battle your way out of it or keep your emotions at bay, right? Because nobody has a crystal ball. I don't know where this is going. We could fall to the floor. We could pump to the moon. I don't know, right? I don't have a crystal ball. All I know is I can stick to the charts. Everything this thing does matters. The fact this created a lower high matters. The fact this low is here matters. The fact that this, if it were to pump, creates a lower low or higher low matters, right? All that stuff matters. Is it creating a low with hammers, DOM jumps, bullish pressure, right? All that matters. You know, if this sweeps and reclaims it, it matters.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's the sweep. Let's see if we reclaim it. So this would have been another kind of bear setup, so I wouldn't be surprised if they'll just shift it back up, because they've been doing it all day. They've been trapping bulls, trapping bears, trapping bulls, trapping bears, trapping bulls, trapping bears. Trap the bulls, let's trap the bears again. Which is literally...
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go. 416.50, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Love it. Hey, yeah, shut it down, man. Yeah. So now again, right? We got a low with absorption, getting a hammer on our 1 minute. Now this hammer is only relevant if we close above it. right? That's the only way it's relevant. Otherwise, it's just a hammer. Alright. We are getting some deep sells through the algo, but we did get a buy there. We know that that is a little bit of a sell. Again, we know the macro should pull to there, but we did get a push here, reclaiming those lows, which is why we got our push, but we also rejected on the other lows that really gave us the big push. So the real big push, we need to reclaim these lows, like 36, right, to get a true push. Anything short of that, again, we know that structure-wise, guys, it should come to here. Really should come to here. But the trap-wise that I keep calling, because I see little jumps like that, think about it. If I'm a retail trader and I'm going, oh yeah, we broke below 200, we're going to there. Right, I'm taking these shorts and I keep getting stopped out. And then I throw everything at my monitor going, why do I keep getting stopped out? I don't understand it. It's a trap day, right, so far. And it's normal for a Monday. Mondays do this, right? They want to build longs, they want to build the shorts, they want to, in a sense, they want to trap you guys. So this is what they do, guys. So let's look at this. We know we have the 5-minute 200 EMA here. What's his concern? The price is stuck, conflicted between the 1-minute and 5-minute 200 EMA, which often leads to a sideways chop rather than clean. Wait for the breakout below the. Yeah, so his concern, right, is he's telling you that we're stuck between the 1-minute and the 5-minute. To take his short that's safer, he said, would be wait for the confirmed breakout below the 5-minute. To take the long, wait for the confirmed breakout above the 1-minute. So we are definitely getting more bearish pressure now, but I want to see how the DOM works. Let me, I'm going to sit back down. It's hard for me to see my DOM in the corner of my eye when my desk is way up there because that monitor doesn't go up with me. And then this DOM is going to become very important. So again, we lost this low, but now we're reclaiming it. That's not screaming bearish, right? But I want to see, does this push have enough to reclaim these lows? Because if it doesn't, then we're creating compression, right, below the prior low. And that definitely could dump us, right? Again, so let's watch. But any kind of DOM pushes here that pushes us up into there is going to give another crazy push like we did before. Bum, bum, bum. Some DOM pressure, but again, it's got to reclaim some pretty key levels. Oh, look at the 5-minute has identified a trap, which would be a short trap play long. Let's see if that plays out. We have a couple levels. Let's see. This is the lower level. It wouldn't shock me if it invalidates that one, comes into here. There it just is. Well, it hasn't locked it because we haven't closed out of it yet. That's why it's flashing. So close out of it is what locks it. But if it invalidates that one into here, then it'll push up from that level, right? Let's keep studying. What do we got? 36? A little more time. Again, we're getting hammers near a 200. That should be resistance. We're getting slight DOM jumps near an area that should be resistance. But we're also... It's a tricky area. See, we're reclaiming these lows, which is more bullish reclaim. But we're also rejecting on these lows, which is more bearish. One of them is going to win. We have a drop, lower high, higher low. Remember the last time they set up this pennant, it actually played out and then it reclaimed it, right? So could be something that we see. Just looking for any kind of DOM jumps. Are we getting any kind of pressure to the north? Right now, everything, this is sell, but see that DOM jump? That's what I was looking at. So we just got it again. Now, it's not jumping high enough to get out of this, but again, it's like, why would it be jumping at all if all this stuff is lining up bearish, right? This is in a good angle, too. If this can breach like this, close above, now we have, like, crazy OA. And where this is at, man, that, if I was the little market maker, this right here, I mean, I normally would be short as hell right there. Okay, so let's watch. See, now we're testing these lows. Watch how the DOM and the candle acts. If we start to reject pretty harsh, right, then it can't reclaim those lows and it's going to keep going down. But if we get any kind of pullback push through, that's your propulsion zone, right? So we got a pullback, which is fine. I'm not, those are normal. Again, if we have lower high, higher low, right, why are we invalidating it? I don't know. Again, guys, I don't have a crystal ball. Neo doesn't, right? I don't know where it's going to go. I can just interpret what I see and what it should do, right? The macro is pretty bearish now from here, right? It's not bearish overall. We're bullish, but we do have room to come back. But the micro is not really doing bearish things, right? It's not doing bearish things, at least not in a sense that is really strong, like showing strength within the bearish things, right? So there's the push. This push matters. If it breaches up high, rear back, then that's some strength with the bulls. If we tap Lisma and we get a deep pull, they weren't even strong enough to breach wicket. That matters. That matters. So let's watch. I'm gonna stop here soon because I want to leave it open for some questions, and then I want to try to do my best to get into the development class on time. So. Any questions while we just kind of watch this play? Let's see. Questions, if you guys want to type and share your P&Ls, love to hear it, good, bad, or ugly, right? If you're red, maybe explain why we're red, what we missed. Was it a tight stop loss? Did we try to go up, down? Too high volume? You know, do we know why we were? Guys, this is critical. Anybody?
Up 338. I
Nice.
was laddering. It got pretty hairy there for a while, but I held on and came out in the green. So
Beautiful. Laddering is not a bad strategy on a consolidation day, right? So it's not a bad way to play it. Anyone else? Y'all are so shy. Some of you work, I know.
I ended up with 812, so I'm pretty good for the day.
Slow day. I mean, I get it. You were scared. It's Monday. Don't you love when you like, I only got 812 today. It's not bad.
Yep. It was only $800. That's it.
Yeah, you know, I don't really like to swing big on a Monday.
Yeah. I was trying to take it easy.
Oh, that crooks me up.
Cody's come so far. Only
Oh, yeah.
$800 today. I'm done.
Yeah, y'all don't even know.
Man, oh man. He's so calm.
Mm-hmm. So we got to push. Remember, I was telling you this breach matters. It didn't breach wick very strong, so it doesn't show strength, right? And so we're seeing that weakness play out. Getting into the area I was kind of thinking it would get into. So let's see if we go all the way down and touch that.
So
Or do
5
we-
minute 200 here, too.
I want to see. Remember, we've been doing this all day, right? Where we keep losing the low and reclaiming it. But theoretically, this should come at least to there. Macro, again, should come at least to there. So we touched it. Now let's see how this is bounced. If this gets a good bounce, right, we're breakout from earlier trend line, right? Retest. And then a bounce here, if it reclaims these lows, will be pretty significant. But again, from a technical standpoint, it should have went to there. So we did. Now how we reclaim this is going to be big, right? Do we get a full reclaim on it, or are we just going to get full breakout? Now for us to get a full breakout, I'm going to zoom out. You guys can see we're kind of almost sort of head and shoulders if, right? Wouldn't surprise us getting a little bounce here, but if we can't bounce high enough, we might be head and shoulders, and we actually might be more southern today after all. So let's watch. So this area here is going to become very big, 700. Yeah, if we cannot hold that, we're going to sweep again. If we can reclaim that in this low, then it would have enough steam to push. So let's see what we get. Do we get hammers, dom, bounces, anything that shows any kind of buyers coming in, right? Because remember, this is an area that buyers should come in since we were a trend break push. If we lose that area, that would push us to the next area, which is the 5 minute, right? Which is like 667. It should because it's bearish, but I don't know that it would do it directly, right? Because remember, I think they're still trapping, but we'll see. But good deal, guys. It's open for questions if you guys got them. And then if I don't get too many, right, we'll jump off and get ready for the development session. And if there's no real questions, I'll jump into kind of some kind of cool updates and plans for Neo. For those who've been kind of waiting for that. Good deal. See the jumps, guys? Where this jumps to matters. If this can jump, reach into 709, right, into here, rear back a little, then that's going to be that trap that we were talking about, which it should be bouncing, right, because we're coming in off of a trend line. We should be getting little bounces. So how big that bounces matters significantly, actually. Good deal. All right, guys, with Neo, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Awesome news. So Neo is, as you guys know, right now he's set up as just a coach. He's just reading the market. He's just saying, hey, we should go here, we should go there. That's really all Neo's doing. You know, as far as like interpreting the market, we'll say. He's not really giving guidance as far as signals or directional plays or any of that stuff. It's not really what he's intended to do yet. We got to baby step him. So I am happy to report, and I don't know for certain that he's ready, but he is way ahead of timeline for what we projected. So we projected to not allow him to make decisions when it comes to buy sell signals until like pretty much like June, right? Many of you guys have heard me say that, right? Like he'll be in beta till June. With the beta, he will be in beta until he has convinced me that he can read the market well. And he can convince me that he makes good decisions, right? He has some decision range right now, but it's not as much as I want him to have, right? And so we still have a few more steps. So looking into it on Friday, Paul, me, and Alex determined that he's picking up on things just so fast, guys. Like, I don't have to tell you guys, like, so fast. And Paul and Alex believe that, you know, we should give him an opportunity to interpret, right, a signal. And so part of what we're doing with that AI add-on for the indicators, we have that ability to send him something and say, hey, I got a buy signal here. Would you take it if you were a trader, right? And let him make a decision. Would he take it? I have a sell signal. Would you take it? If you are going to take it, give me a reason why. If you're not going to take it, give me your concerns of why you're not going to take it. Maybe give them both either way. I want to have him give a confidence score on it, just like we've done here. It's going to be a big step for him, right? And I don't know if it's too soon. We'll find out, and we won't know till we push it. But it's a big step for him. So if we can get him to make decisions like that, and they're good, and it's like, dang, like, okay, he's doing it. That's huge, because then now he's going to be pretty close to ready for us to let him give signal calls, right? Not only that, he'd be pretty close to ready to have him link up to the sim, right? We kind of had a thought. It was funny. I was talking to someone about it, and they kind of had a suggestion, which was something we were already thinking about, but I love that other people are thinking this too. Someday, once we put him on the trading lab, right, the sim, we may add a button that allows you to challenge Neo, right, and see if you can beat him in a trading day, right, stuff like that to make it fun. We can even make it to where he can interpret other people's stats, right, so he's competitive, and we can program him to say, like, you're a professional trader, like, your goal is to win. This is your competition, do the best you can, right? So that's the next level of it, is can he interpret something, can he make a decision on something, is the decision good, and then can he actually execute the decision? What's his risk management? When does he choose to close it, open it, all these things? All that stuff matters significantly, right? Because once we get him to a point that he can make good decisions on buy sells, he can make good decisions on risk management or just trades in general or TPs, right? That's when, you know, we're going to leave him in the sim for a little bit. And if he's just passing and passing and passing evals, we'll put him on a company real money account, right? And then maybe let him trade the demo for a little bit and then go to actual real money. So a lot of phases to get through still, but guys, the end game goal is this guy's going to trade real money for people at some point. You know, our projection was like no chance that will happen until 2027. So, but our projection was he's not even supposed to be interpreting buy sell signals right until June, and we're considering doing that pretty soon. So we're like a month ahead already. And you guys have seen his growth. You know, I mean, he's only been, today's his what, like 10th day, 11th day, interpreting the market, and you guys have seen that growth. So I'm impressed with it. It's like how he's doing it and analyzing is crazy. So exciting stuff. So where I don't know, I kind of shared a little bit last night, is when we're giving him that buy sell signal interpretation, I don't know if I want to put it here.
Hello, I'm Neo. Let's capture the move.
But I don't know also if I can exclude it from here. I have to talk to Alex, because my fear is, guys, this is a test for him to just, like, can you even make a decision? You guys see this trap push? Like we were just talking about. And my fear is I don't know if it's a good decision or not for him yet, because we have to test it. And if I could sit here and tell y'all, do not take his calls, don't go short when it says short, don't go, like, use your TA, do your stuff. But just like the shiny toy of the buy sell signals, you're gonna see all this stuff and immediately look, go long, I'm in, boom, and you don't even read the rest of it, right? That's my worry, because I know for a fact, no matter how much people say that they won't, there's gonna be some people that don't know, or some people that will do it anyways, right? So more to come. I'm gonna meet with Alex a little bit later today, but I'm excited for the progression of him. My goal with him, guys, a little bit more sneak peek of the behind the curtain for him. I don't want him to be what feels like a buy sell indicator, if you will. So I don't want him saying, like, oh, I see this setup, boom, if we enter, you know, long now, right, here's your TP. That would be more just him being an indicator, right? Which he's way more than that. Holy cow, look at this drop. I'm not sure what just happened there. Look at that.
I'm not sure what just happened either, but I had a stop loss set at $50. I was in a long right there, and it freaking didn't get out in time. It cost me $225.
Man, I gotta look at something. Something just happened. Let's see if it shakes out and jumps, or is this gonna actually be just a full dump? So we're getting a good bounce, guys.
Grab the lows right now.
Oh yeah, that jumped. Look at this, swept that trend line though. That would be a stop hunt. That's why, remember, we've been watching kind of these trap moves. I would not be surprised if they don't sweep that trend line and send it the other way. But I don't know. Something dropped that, because it shouldn't have dropped that far. No chance it should have dropped that far. So, but that's kind of where we're at with Neo. I'm gonna look at this here for a second, guys. Let's watch. Because we got a pretty big jump in an area we should probably not have had a pretty big jump. So let's see if we get any kind of reclaim. Now remember, if this pulls like this, remember how this trend line I was watching? That shouldn't have done that. Not without some kind of news. If it pulls it and reclaims that, and we reclaim that low, man, buddy, that push is gonna be crazy. But that drop shouldn't have done that. So now we got to determine is this a stop hunt, or are we beginning a deep descent? Right, back down to that 580. That's what we're trying to determine right now. But the volume is going crazy. I mean, the sellers definitely took that and ran. But I don't know if it shows as much strength as it's trying to show, because see how it's bouncing? Now this bounce could just be, you know, limit buys, whatever. It's not a trap until we reclaim some lows, right? So, but if we reclaim above 685, man, this thing's gonna spring. But it really, like, let's analyze where this bounced. Okay, I mean, it's not bad, right? See, these prior lows are pretty significant. So for us to hit that and get a pretty good bounce, not really trap, right? It's just we hit a prior low, right? And we're bouncing. So we could drop again unless we reclaim these areas, 684, 688. So it's always good to be aware of that. So, guys, any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to try to cut over to the development session so we can kind of trade some of this movement, because it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, it's looking like it might be a pretty good session. TikTok, I'm going to drop off. Check us out, nextstepalgo.com, if you want to come in. It's free to register, free to watch Neo, free to trade with us. Free is free. Don't have to link your card. Not selling your email. It's my disclaimer I'm going to do every time now. But I'm going to go ahead and drop off here, guys. And we'll see you inside the room. If you want to join the development session, you just got to go in and join the development program. Dropping off TikTok. See ya. Yeah, I hope that some way I find my way